Space is quiet. We know this. Every child is taught that in a vacuum. There is no air to carry the vibration of sound. In space, no, one can hear you scream. It is a cinematic cliché, but it carries a biological weight we rarely discuss. We are a species of noise. Our civilization is a cacophony of combustion, chatter, and electronic hum. We associate sound with life and silence with death. Because of this, we look at the stars and expect them to speak. We expect the universe to be a radio frequency version of a crowded city. But the truth is far more unsettling. The silence of the universe isn't just a physical limitation of sound waves in a vacuum. It is an electromagnetic blackout, so total, so absolute, that it defies the laws of probability. For 70 years, we have pointed our most sensitive radio telescopes at the heavens. We have scanned billions of frequencies. We have looked for the leakage of distant civilizations, the cosmic equivalent of our own television broadcasts or radar pings. And we have heard nothing. Not a whisper, not a glitch. In a 2025 landscape, mainstream science still calls this the Fermi Paradox. They treat it like a puzzle we haven't solved yet. But they are asking the wrong question. They are asking, where is everyone? When they should be asking, why is everyone so quiet? The satisfaction boost of this chapter comes when you realize that silence isn't a lack of communication. It is a survival strategy. In the deep dark, silence isn't the absence of something. It is the presence of a choice. Consider the scale of our failure. The Arecibo Observatory, before its collapse, could have detected a signal equivalent to its own power from across the entire galaxy. We have the technology to hear a whisper from 10,000 light-years away. Statistically, the Milky Way should be glowing with radio noise. There are hundreds of billions of stars. Millions of them are older than our sun. If even a tiny fraction of them developed a civilization only 1,000 years more advanced than ours, the sky should be a deafening roar of data. Instead, we find a signal desert. Some scientists suggest we are looking for the wrong thing. They say aliens might be using lasers, or neutrinos, or some form of quantum entanglement that we haven't mastered yet. This is the technological mismatch theory. It is a comforting thought because it implies the universe is full of talkative neighbors, and we're just the only ones using an obsolete telephone. But that theory fails under scrutiny. Radio waves are the cheapest, most efficient way to move information across the void. They are the universal language of physics. Even if the civilization moved on to better tech, their old signals, their ghosts, should still be traveling through the dark. A radio signal sent from a star system 50 light-years away doesn't just stop. It expands. It travels forever. Our own early radio broadcasts of the 1930s have already passed thousands of star systems. If we can't hear them, it's not because we don't have the ears. It's because there is nothing to hear. The universe is silent by design. It is a manufactured blackout. To understand the silence, we have to look at the dark forest hypothesis through the lens of acoustics. Imagine a forest at night. It is pitch black. You know the forest is full of life, insects, birds, predators, and prey. But as you walk through it, the forest is eerily quiet. Why? Because anything that makes a noise is immediately found, and anything that is found is immediately eaten. In this model, the great silence is the result of a universal realization. Broadcasting your existence is a suicide note. The ninth planet and the destroyer anomalies we discuss in this series are the predators. They are the berserker machines that scan the electromagnetic spectrum for the first signs of a rising civilization. Our radio waves are not progress. They are a flare in the dark. We are the child in the forest, shouting at the top of our lungs, unaware that the shadows are listening. Mainstream science wants you to believe that the silence is natural. They want you to believe that the universe is just empty. They call it the natural state of space. But in nature, nothing is truly silent. Stars scream with radiation. Pulsars beat like drums. Black holes groan with the weight of gravity. The only thing in the universe that is perfectly quiet is something that is hiding. This leads us to the most controversial possibility. the blackout is being enforced. This is the zoo hypothesis, or the quarantine theory. It suggests that we don't hear signals from the stars because the stars are under a no-broadcast order. Think about our own history. When we encounter an uncontacted tribe in the Amazon, our official policy is non-interference. We don't drop radio transmitters into their village. We don't fly jets over their heads to say hello. We watch from a distance. We ensure they stay in their natural state for as long as possible. What if the solar system is an Amazonian village? What if the silence is a protective dome placed over us by the Type II civilizations that govern this sector of the galaxy? They aren't avoiding us because we are unimportant. They are avoiding us because we are an experiment. Or perhaps we are a threat that hasn't matured yet. If this is true, then our attempts to break the silence, projects like METI, Messaging Extraterrestrial Intelligence, are the most dangerous acts in human history. We are trying to pick the lock of a door that was locked for our own protection. The satisfaction metric of this realization is chilling. We aren't looking for a signal, we are looking for a warden. We have been able to establish that most of reality has no witnesses and must accept that most of reality has no voice. We live in an era of social validation. If a thing isn't being shared, or liked, or broadcasted, we feel it isn't real. We have projected this onto the cosmos. We believe that if the universe is full of life, that life must be broadcasting. But consider the hidden life theory. Life that doesn't want to be found. Life that has integrated into the background noise of the universe. There are signals in the static that we call noise. We attribute them to quasars, or the cosmic microwave background, or solar flares. But noise is simply data that we haven't learned to decode yet. What if the silence we hear isn't an absence of information, but an encryption? What if the great silence is actually a great conversation happening right in front of us, using frequencies and methods that appear to our primitive telescopes as natural noise? We are like a dog listening to a human debate about nuclear physics. The dog hears noise. It hears barks and grunts. It has no concept that it is standing in a room full of world-changing information. The silence is the natural state of space, because space is a medium for those who have learned how to be invisible. We are the only ones left with the lights on. As we conclude this chapter of The Shape of Emptiness, we have to face the ultimate irony of our search for the ninth planet. We are looking for a massive, rogue object in the dark. We are using infrared, gravity, and mathematical models to find it. We want it to speak to us. We want it to be the ninth planet of our textbooks. But what if the ninth planet is the one that is enforcing the silence? If the universe is a dark forest, then the objects at the edge of our solar system are not planets. They are listening posts. They are the sentinels. The silence of the universe is a warning. It is a sign that the high authority entities of the cosmos have reached a consensus. That consensus is that visibility is vulnerability. We started this journey by looking at the void, the shape of emptiness. Now we see that the emptiness is filled with a silence that is heavy, intentional, and lethal. In our next chapter, we will look for the witnesses. We will explore why most of reality is never seen, and why the things that do see us might be the very reason we should stay quiet. Stop looking for a signal. Start praying that no one hears ours. The universe is quiet. Let's keep it that way.